Soccer, football. Um, I think this could be this is what's going to gravitate or turn the MLS into a whole new era. Even more so when David Beckham went to LA Galaxy. I think this Messi thing has just been done wonders for the MLS.
Well, Messi's LeBron when it comes to football.
Yeah, I mean, he's 36 years old, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, right. And then he's still just, I mean, and then he scored 2 goals in the next game, too.
He's fresh off
against Atlanta. Atlanta just won the championship a couple years ago.
He's fresh off of winning a World Cup 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still at his prime, man. He makes things happen. He orchestrates it. But what this is also going to do is validate MLS as far as, being team's value, right? So easily, Messi coming in turns into Miami into $1 billion club for the next team, for the next person that would like to purchase a team. And speaking of teams being purchased, the Commanders got purchased for $6.5 billion.
I love it.
Yeah, and NFL team prices are going up. MLS team prices will be going up pretty soon here because the deal that Messi got to come to the MLS, it's unfathomable. Yes, he turned down $1 billion going into Saudi.
Saudi's throwing him on $1 billion for soon they're going to offer one to LeBron James $1 billion.
That's if they start a basketball league, but they probably won't because soccer, football, it's big over there. Basketball, not so much. Okay. And what basically all this does is it increases the value of of the soccer teams in MLS.
Of course.
If Inter Miami is up $1 billion when they got it for David Beckham bought in for $25 million, and probably the owner, I don't remember the exact number. I believe they bought the owner of Inter Miami spent $100 million to buy the team initially,
right?
And David Beckham bought in for $25 million.
Right. Yeah, he's not the majority owner.
Yeah, and price is just going to go up. The sky's the limit for soccer in America, starting out now. Because now, not only did Messi come, but some of his other teammates are going to join him as well. They're trying to get
something.
Yeah, they're trying to get some of his former Barcelona teammates to come join him as well. So Inter Miami is going to be viable as a playoff team, viable as an MLS team, and viable all around the world. Because not only will Americans watch, but Europeans will watch as well because Messi's still capable. He's still something to watch. He's your favorite star's favorite star to watch as far as soccer goes.
It was funny because after the first game when the 2 head coaches went to just congratulate each other after the game, and they're both smiling at each other like, we fucking have Messi on this on this field. He's playing in the middle of Fort Lauderdale with 18,000 fans.
Yeah,
he's just kicking ass. Everyone's just like, this is great.
It's great to be a part of it. It almost reminds. Well, I wasn't old enough for the Michael Jordan era, but that's probably what it felt like when Michael Jordan was playing for the Wizards towards the end of his career. Coaches would see him and they probably wanted to get his autograph. Players would see him. They probably want to take a picture with him at the end of every game because hey, that is Black Jesus, or that is Jesus, period. That's Jesus on the basketball court. Messi is Jesus on the soccer field.
Larry Bird calling him God with shoes, 1986 playoff game.
That too.
Yeah.
So, players want to see Messi, coaches want to see Messi, and it's just wow, the pandemonium is crazy and it's great for American soccer. Let's pivot into the World Cup. Speaking about soccer, let's continue on down that path. You got the Women's World Cup happening. Australia and New Zealand are hosting it. That's also in connection with America, Mexico, and Canada hosting the Men's World Cup. A little tidbit about this World Cup. There's a guy, Morocco's coach, Morocco's Hervé Renard, who coached Morocco in the World Cup, in the Men's World Cup 6 months ago, also is coaching France women's team in this World Cup, in the Women's World Cup, right? And he won a game against Brazil. And Hervé Renard and Saudi Arabia won a game against Messi, the eventual World Cup champ. So that's crazy. He set records everywhere. He's a coach to be, he's a big deal. If the right team gets him with the right superstars, he could potentially take him to a World Cup because he's capable of putting his team in positions to succeed. That's what it looks like. That's what it's coming across like. But the World Cup, the Women's World Cup I've been watching so far, what is looking like is the team that are, which is the complete opposite in the Men's World Cup. Well, it's not the complete opposite, but it's opposite in the Men's World Cup. The Women's World Cup, the teams that are developed, or the teams with money, the countries with money, are the countries that are doing well. Because all around the world, people that play soccer don't have money. You could take some grocery bags, wrap them all up together, make a ball, go play outside. But now, in the Women's World Cup, USA, China, what's it called? Germany, Japan. They're all those are some of the teams that are doing well right now. Whereas the other teams that don't have so much money are not doing too well. They're competing, they're playing, but they're not like, they're not wowing you. The play doesn't look as clean. The play doesn't look as clean, and it's very sloppy. Goals are not being scored like they should. They're not as aggressive. Whereas in the Men's World Cup, you got a Brazil. Brazil's a decent country. It's a developing country, but it's not like a number one. It's not like go-to country. Brazil does well. Morocco did well in the World Cup. France, France is one of those countries that you could consider as an upper echelon country. They're doing well, but it's the opposite. The women's team is so talented. They could make three USA squad. They could make three different squads because they're so talented. And they even turn away more talented people also. Because there's women that played in America for college and professional, that are playing for Panama, playing for Jamaica, playing for England, playing for Korea, playing for China, because America's squad is just so stacked. It's like what Brazil used to be able to do: field two professional teams, two World Cup squads that could compete back to back, or even take first, second, or third place. Brazil could do that. Or the USA men's basketball team, where they could put together a roster, and the second place roster that they have, or the backups, could actually compete for a medal, not gold, but they could compete. They could go out there and cause some noise. So this is it's pretty cool. But America is definitely the favorite. They didn't play too well against Switzerland, but it was a physical game. It was a knockdown, drag-out game, and I loved it. I'm not going to lie to you, though. I'm hoping the African teams also do well, the African female teams. But it's hard because they don't have camps like they do here. Oh, they don't have the facilities like they do here, where at a young age, your daughter could be like, Daddy, I want to play soccer. You put her in a camp. You have her play with people her age or play with people above her skill level, and then you could take her out after the season's done. You can have private coaching as well on top of that, because you have to invest money to see results. That's what it comes down to. And most of these other countries, they don't even watch women's sports. They're like, women playing soccer? Oh, hell no. I'd much rather go do something else. And they do. So it's pretty interesting. Anyhow, I do pick the United States once they get their head together. Oh, by the way, Dennis Rodman's daughter is on the United States soccer team.
Is she really?
Yeah. She's pretty good too. She's a beast. I believe within the next couple of years she may get a contract, or they may get her to go over to Europe.
Or Saudi Arabia can buy her for $500 million.
Saudi Arabia does not. I don't believe Saudi Arabia wants. Saudi Arabia wants to build a men's super league, not a women's super league. No, I don't believe that. They're a very traditional country. They probably don't even believe that women should be playing soccer if it wasn't for the Women's World Cup. They're probably like, you wrap yourself up and stay at home and take care of the kids. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be seen. You shouldn't go out, because that's that's exposing yourself to the fact that somebody else will hit on you and you may do something you shouldn't have done.
Interesting.
So yeah, I don't believe that. But Saudi Arabia, they have a lots of money. They got deep pockets, so they're willing to spend. But not everybody's willing to go to them.
No, like your favorite soccer player from France.
Yeah.
How do you say his name?
Kylian Mbappe.
Yes, and he turned down how much?
The contract is for 1.1 billion, But the actuality is it's 700 million for 1 year.
That's insanity, dude. $700 million to play 1 year.
Yeah, play 1 year.
And it's not even like full. It's not even like when you say a year, it's not January to December. It's like how long is the season? 6 months, 7 months. So really, you're getting paid $700 million for like 6, 7 months of service.
But it is. But you got to take care of your body. Got to take care of your staff. I'm sure
Yeah.
Kylian Mbappe has a staff.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Bunch of handlers. He's a superstar. Guy is young right now, so he's definitely worth the money. He's definitely worth the money. If they wanted to pay him and he wanted to accept it. But Kylian Mbappe does not want to accept that money because he feels that the league is not competitive. He wants to stay where there's competitive soccer being played. Basically, he wants his legacy.
$700 million. Who cares if it's competitive?
No, he wants
to play against a bunch of fourth graders. Give my money.
He's a competitor. He wants his legacy to be that I took out the best, played with the best, took out the best. Right? He doesn't want to, because right now the Saudi Arabians they're paying for retired players. They paid for Kareem.
Isn't that what the MLS is kind of like too, though?
Yes and no, but the MLS doesn't have the money the Saudi has.
Yes, this is true.
So Saudi got Kareem Benzema, former Ballon d'Or winner. They got Cristiano Ronaldo, the names that I know. Mm-hmm. They got them over there, playing on pretty good salaries. So they're trying to lure. If they can lure Kylian Mbappe, they can get younger stars. But if they can't get him, they won't get younger stars. Because they got the Cristiano Ronaldo. But, you got to get somebody else so that's relatively on the up and coming, not somebody that's on the outskirts, like getting ready to leave. Because, what's it called? Cristiano Ronaldo is about 38, 39. So he's pretty up there in age as far as a footballer goes, because it's a lot of running. And if you don't take care of your body well,
that's true.
He could beat you down. But Cristiano Ronaldo takes good care of his body, so he can play some more years. But speaking about contracts, speaking about expensive money, we got the Americans fighting. The football league is fighting. Basketball, not so much. The NFL's fighting.
Baseball fights all the time, too. Those players are always fighting over money.
Well, baseball and basketball players are lucky. Their contracts are fully guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed, yep.
Whereas an NFL player's contract's not fully guaranteed. Nope. So let's go first with the fights.
Okay.
You got Saquon Barkley wanting a contract like Christian McCaffrey, which is $16 million a year.
How much? 16?
Christian McCaffrey's making $16 a year with San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. Saquon Barkley, who's injury prone, wants a contract wants to get a contract as an elite running back, but his team didn't want to give it to him, so they tagged him for $10 million, and he managed to find a way to wiggle out to basically get an extended, an increase in his tag to make $11 million for 1 year, and after that, he could go find his way because he is injury prone.
Right.
He's good when he's on the field. He's great when he's on the field. He makes Daniel Jones go. But
boy, they gave Daniel Jones a lot of money, though, huh?
They did. They definitely did. It amounts to $40 million a year.
Not worth it. He gets my money to Saquon Barkley, man. He's got another couple good 2-3 years in him. Should have given him a little bit more.
Saquon Barkley has been injured. There's been seasons where he didn't play at all.
I get that.
So it makes it hard for me to pony up that money to you. Because knowing that your first contract, running backs usually don't make it to their second contract. And if they do, it's a downhill slope. You're not getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
So it makes it hard for them to pony up. There's a bunch of high caliber running backs out there right now that still haven't gotten paid. There's Delvin Cook, Kareem Hunt, Austin Eckler from the San Diego Chargers. So, LA Chargers, they haven't gotten paid. And they supposedly had a conference and whatnot to talk about it. Nothing's going to change. Kids want to play wide receivers. We want to see big scores on the board. We want to see offensive play. We don't want to see slow churn, 5 yards here, 3 yards here. We don't really want to see that. So it makes the market really tough. But maybe they can arrange that during the next, competitive bargaining arrangement. Maybe they could change some things. But as far as running backs go, the future looks bleak. and Saquon Barkley got his 11 million. Hopefully, he can live up to the contract and make him sign him to a 3-year contract. Or what they could do is shorten the rookie contracts out for running backs to 3 years or 2 years. 2 years to play on your rookie deal instead of 4 years. Because if you play for a school like Alabama and you're not Derrick Henry, you come into the NFL, you're done. Because they use you up. They take every ounce of your skill and just.
That's where they should. They give them the most money in the very beginning. You want to draft them high, give them some money, and then after 2-3 years, that's what I feel like they should do with baseball. Like these guys that are in their primes at 24, 25, 26, 27, right around there, they should be getting paid the most money. Not by the time you get to Max Scherzer's age, in his late 30s, and now he's getting paid $40 million a year. It's like, dude, you ain't worth it. Sorry, you're not the same baseball player as you once were. But yeah, now you want to make $40 million, both just because you're in the league a lot longer and you have a huge resume. But you're not as good. But yet we're paying you now the most money if you ever have in your entire career. I think people get paid more early on.
Well, the only way to make that happen is to shorten the rookie contract.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, they need to, but I think they need to come to agreements that, like, once you get older, guys, like, we're just not gonna pay you as much.
That's not an argument to be made. Baseball lives on respecting your elders.
Not anymore. No one gives a shit.
Why are they paying Max Scherzer $40 million?
Because that's the way it works. It's not because that's what they want.
It's respecting your elders.
They can give no. I'm telling you, the owner can give an absolute rip about that. It's the players' union.
The players' union negotiated well. Next union negotiate better. Shorter rookie year deals, so that way in your prime you get the most money.
I agree.
And as you're going down the hill, you get the opportunity to negotiate again. Now we're negotiating on your future.
Yes.
We're not negotiating on what you've done, because on what we thought your potential was, we paid you handsomely. Correct. But that works well in baseball, but it wouldn't work well in football, as far as you know. Because players are getting paid based upon what they've done, the accomplishments.
Yeah.
Because if you made it to Super Bowl, you made it to NFC or AFC Championship, or you've won a couple of division titles, now we get to pay you for that handsomely, which is great. But the football players, as far for running backs, the running backs market, they need to make sure that they stipulate that your rookie contract shouldn't be 4 years, it should be 2 years or 3 years maximum. And that way you get to come back at the table. You can negotiate a long-term deal for a 5-year deal or 6-year deal, whatever the case may be. And make that salary, make that your big payday. And by the time that contract's over, you're either retired or, you're Frank Gore. And Frank Gore is he stayed in the league forever as a running back.
He's awesome. He was awesome. Mr. Frank Gore, Willis McGahee, Clinton Portis. Man, we had what happened to Miami football? Golly, man. Miami, the Hurricanes.
The cyclical
what a shame.
Happenings of life.
My Pender family down in Florida right now are at the Dolphins training camp as cousin Derek is
what's up, cousin Derek?
In all his glory, seeing Tua live in action right now.
Tua put on some weight, they say.
He's looking good, and I think other than week 4 and week 18 when they play the Buffalo Bills, I think the Dolphins should do just fine.
Well, the savior as far as cornerbacks go, Jalen Ramsey.
Yes, he's out.
He's out, and what's it called? Vic Fangio supposedly was gonna fortify that defense to the point where if Jalen Ramsey's playing, Josh Allen pretty much can't do anything.
No.
So where does that leave them? I mean, they still have the speedy receivers. Speaking of speedy receivers, what's his face? Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Supposedly punched somebody in the face and was like, here, $200, shut your mouth.
Good old Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
You don't have to hit anybody. Just run past them. Just avoid people.
No, sometimes people piss you off and you just want to give them these hands. Sometimes You want to disrespect them to the point of you just slap them real nice, not fit,
Yeah.
not punch them, just slap them. That's what I think of you.
Yeah.
Very little, so I'm gonna slap you.
Slap you.
But you shouldn't really slap people in this day and age because you never know what you could do to somebody after you slap them.
This is true.
But I'm thinking, so back on to the contract situation, the NFL players, especially quarterbacks, if they want a decent team around them,
Uh-huh.
or Saquon Barkley wanting a decent team around him, wanting a great offensive line to block for him, asking for the money that you guys are asking for.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because if you win, the money will come. Not directly through football, but
Right.
on outside sources, whether it's endorsements, partnerships,
Right.
however it may be, the money will come.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're dead set on that team paying you all that money, yes, the team makes it, but you want a good team around you as well.
Mm-hmm.
You want an offensive line that blocks for you. You want receivers great receivers. You want a great tight end. You want a great defense. You want a great cornerback. You want a great defensive tackle. You want all those positions to be competitive to the market. And the only way to make them competitive is by not going out there and grabbing all the money in the world. Because you could definitely, if you continue to win, money's gonna find you. Like Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champ, the greatest quarterback ever. Money's gonna find him. And Patrick Mahomes, if he plays another 10 years, let's say he's 37, and he wins a couple more Super Bowls, and he keeps, renegotiating this contract, restructuring this contract so that he's at least, he doesn't have to be, he doesn't have to be number one, but he's in the top 10 of salaries being made. The money will come. The endorsements will come as long as he keeps winning. People want to be in business with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a brand. Patrick Mahomes is the winner.
I think it's in the NBA especially. They make more on endorsements than they do their actual salary. And these guys are still making $30 million a year, $20 million a year in basketball. And then on top of it, their endorsements, it's incredible.
Oh, for sure.
It's like I think even Shaquille O'Neal said I made more money in my post-playing career than I did during my time with the Lakers.
That's wonderful because Shaq won. So endorsements came his way and opportunities came his way.
I think that's the point you're trying to make. Like, just especially when you win, that's why it's always good to play on a good team. Like, yeah, okay, you may get paid less sometimes on
up front
on a good team, yeah. But in the end of the day, dude, if you're constantly in the spotlight, that's why God bless Damian Lillard for being in Portland as long as he has. But my gosh, can you imagine if he was just in a really good squad, even if he had played with Oklahoma City or the Lakers back in the day, or should even went to Cleveland when LeBron was there. I mean, I get these guys don't want to jump around, and that's fine. But when most of them, dude, I mean, his talent alone just would have been amazing to see in the playoffs. As they've only been to the Western Conference Finals once, and I think that was in the bubble year in 2020. That's it. As great as a talent he is, but then you play people like Dominique Wilkins, who never even made the conference finals, and as far as he ever went was second round against the Boston Celtics. And Dominique Wilkins is such a historic figure in basketball. It's awesome. That's the way it goes, man. Right?
For sure. But speaking of basketball, you got Jaylen Brown. He got $304 million.
Yes.
For 5 years.
Yes, 5 years.
He's the highest paid NBA player at the moment, and he's number 2 on his squad. How's that sit with the? Imagine
nobody gives a shit. And that's the thing. I just don't understand. When I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, when Matt Ryan signed his extension with the Falcons a few years ago, he was the highest paid NFL player in the history of the league at the time. And it was how could it be? He's not even the best player in the league. It's like, dude, it's just for that year. And then very legally the next year, someone else was the highest paid player of all time. That's just the way it goes. Right now, it's Jalen Ramsey's getting his,
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown, sorry.
Wrong sport.
Yeah, wrong sport. And he's getting money. And I mean, it's going to get to a point where these guys are getting paid $70 million, $80 million a year. That will happen. $100 million a year. It will happen at some point in our lifetime.
Here's what's going to tip the scale if the Saudis get in the game.
Yeah, but nobody wants to play over there. Like, that's the thing. Even though it's beautiful out there.
No, they will, because the Saudis have the Saudi fund, which could definitely put money in places and build a stadium with air conditioning and all that good stuff.
I like how air conditioning is the first thing you think of.
Yeah,
we got air conditioning here.
It's a freaking desert.
Well, yeah, it's a desert, but it's beautiful enough. It looks nice. I gotta go. I go check it out.
You should go.
I like to go check it out.
Now, well, you should. You could go when your kids are older.
Yeah, that's true.
Because unless you want to take them.
And no, I'd go alone. Why don't you and I go?
No,
do an episode of Fan Faces out on that beach.
We should go to Saudi, but I'm going to Sierra Leone first, so I'll be back.
I still got to get out there with you. I got to go to Africa with you.
You should go to Africa with me. My dad's house is done. My aunt's house is nice.
Yeah, it's right on the beach.
My dad's house is close to the beach. My aunt's house is also close to the beach. It's about a 5 to 10 minute drive to the beach.
Then we go stay with my dad in the Bahamas.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's go
do an episode. Let's go do an episode in the Bahamas.
Fan Faces in the Bahamas.
Isn't that crazy? You have a place you can stay over right in Sierra Leone, right on the water. We got a place we can stay right in the Bahamas, and yet you and I, we living right in Rochester, New York.
Well, that's because we're creatures of habit. That's how people
everybody else is living this life, and we're hanging out, and it's going to be about 8 degrees tomorrow in the middle of the beginning of August. No, I'm just joking, but
that's hyperbole. It's not real.
Yeah. But then again, we do live next to Niagara Falls, and
we do.
Beautiful city like Toronto.
Speaking of Niagara Falls, I went there. Last weekend.
You did? You didn't even tell me this? That's not very nice, man.
No, I didn't tell you. It was a family trip. Someday when you become family, Andrew, you could be part of all our festivities. You'll go to Niagara Falls with us. It'll be a good time. Be like, hey kids, Uncle Andrew's here. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Now I went there, got on a boat, got gorged for parking because, it's inflation city over there. We initially got there like 2 o'clock, right? 2:30-ish. They're like, oh, parking, $25 here. Oh, parking, $30 here. But we came back at around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Well, 7 something. Parking. Oh, you can park here, $15. We took 2 cars, so we paid $64. Mm-hmm. When we came back, 2 cars, we could have paid $34. Wow. They gouged us. A full $30. Give me that. They were criminals. I just wanted to smack them for that inflation.
Beautiful place on earth.
It's changed so much. The last time I went was 11 years ago, 2011.
Damn, really that long ago? Did you see if you go on Clifton Hill, they have the Mario Kart go-karts out there?
We didn't go to Canada.
Wait, what?
That's on the Toronto side.
What? Wait, I'm sorry. So you went to Niagara Falls, but you just did it on the American side?
Yeah.
That's boring. Why'd you do that?
That's what we wanted to do, Andrew.
I assume that you went over to the Canada side.
No. I'll tell you
why. Like any real American.
Oh, sure. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
All right.
I'll tell you why off the air. But we wanted to go to the American side. We got on the elevator, got down, came back up, did the boat thing.
Took some videos. Okay.
Yeah, we did the boat thing, but we didn't go to the Canada side.
I see.
We stayed in the American side.
Okay.
Canada's, I plan.
You could do the Maid of the Mist on the American side?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Wow.
After all these years.
Wow.
I didn't think you could do anything on the American side.
Yes.
It's just so boring.
It isn't, though.
Wow.
I took some nice videos.
Who would have thought?
You can. You can. It was a good time. The family enjoyed ourselves. And then we went to Chinese buffet out in Buffalo.
Oh, how was it?
It was delicious. My aunt loved it. She's like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Oh, dude, Chinese buffets.
We've been
if you can get the good ones, man.
We've been to a Chinese buffet here, but she liked that one better.
Okay.
And I liked it too. Everybody, all the fam liked it. Everybody was eating well. I was like, God damn it. We're living life, baby. You feel me? It was a good time. What do we have on the popular culture section? What's happening in the world?
Nothing.
No, that's not true. Oh, popular culture. LeBron James' son had the Damar Hamlin effect happen to him. He went into cardiac arrest. while playing basketball at USC. So that was pretty scary. Dude is 18 years old. There's a conspiracy theory going out that everybody that took the COVID shot, weird things have been happening to them.
I think there'll be a lot more stories coming out than just Brody if that was the case, dude. Seriously.
Well, you got to sell your conspiracy out there.
Good Lord.
So, and also, famous singer Sinead O'Connor, she died.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know who she is?
Andrew, I'm very well versed, man. I'm an onion. Keep peeling back these layers, baby.
Definitely surprised. Okay, yeah. 54 years old, very young.
It's youngish.
Oh, Jesus.
If you lived 100 years, you didn't really do anything in your life. FYI. It's the truth. Because in the grand,
I gotta remember that one.
Because in the grand scheme of things, the Earth's been around forever.
Right.
So if you lived 100 years, you haven't done anything in your life.
Hmm.
Because you're just a speck in that whole grand scheme of things.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Exactly. That's it. That's why. If you lived 100 years, you haven't done anything in your life. You look confused.
Yeah, it's still kind of confusing, but that's right.
Because in the grand scheme of things,
compared to what
compared
billions
to
of
years, yes.
It doesn't mean you haven't done anything in your life. You're making that's a very personal statement. So when you tell someone who's 100 years old, and you haven't done anything.
If you lived 100 years old, you haven't done much in life. How's that?
But that's subjective. What are you talking about?
All right. Well, let's leave it alone.
Well, you haven't done anything. What if the guy was like working out, working at a factory for fucking 80 years? He'd be like, "Oh, fuck you! I haven't done anything in my life. I'm fucking tired of this damn factory I got to work in. It's the steel mill."
In the grand scheme of things, there have been people who have done a lot more.
Bullshit. How so?
The person that invented the internet.
You're gonna compare a guy that has. You haven't done anything in your life unless you've invented the internet?
No, the person that invented penicillin.
Okay. So in other words, you have to invent something to do something in your life. Yeah. What if like they just did that and like it only took them like 3 years to do it, and then after that they spent the next 40 years of their life just like reading the newspaper, not doing shit.
That's an impactful life.
Oh God.
All right, guys, we've jumbled and mumbled, we've spoken, we've spun lots of webs. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being with us. We appreciate all this. Share it with your best friends, your mother, your daughter, your sister, your kids.
Everybody on earth. Be like, there's another sports show out there. It's like
it's
the
not
400th.
Hey.
Oh, go ahead.
It's not just a sports show. It's fan faces.
Yeah, it's fan faces.
You and I are fans. We're all fans of the world. So we speak to people like you and me. So amen. Share it with your friends.
Who do we not speak to, though?
Well, the people that don't really care about what we're talking about. That's who we don't speak to. If you care about what we're talking about, we're speaking to you.
Thank you.
That's it.
All right.
So today's episode is sponsored by 19 Strings for the Harp. Go buy it on Amazon.
Hey, man, people have been buying that book lately, too.
How
about that?
Right?
Yeah.
It's a very good book.
Who would have thought?
I'm not a reader, but I read some of it. I never finished it, but it's an awesome book. Also, today's episode is sponsored by Final Cuts Media. Final Cuts Media is on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Follow us. Subscribe to the channel. Share the videos. The music videos are there to be heard and shared and enjoyed. Make good music from the country of Sierra Leone in West Africa. Fan Faces, Final Cuts Media, we're all one thing. Basically, producing content. I'd like to thank you all. Hope you guys have a nice week. Hope you guys have a productive week, and we'll try to do the same. Remember, the older you get, the more things start to fall apart. So take care of yourself, because I will be taking care of myself. See ya.
How was that?